Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me well. We are going to start our webinar today, and I'll be briefly talking a little bit about Enriching Brazil project, and then we're going to discuss the innovation ecosystem in Ceará. So I'm going to start. My name is Soares. I'm Brazilian, but I live here in Portugal. I work as an international consultant for Sociedade Portuguesa de Inovação, SPI. And so Enrich is a global network of centers and hubs. So we have Enrich in the US, Enrich in China, and Enrich in Brazil. All of them were a call that we provided a project for the European Commission, and now we have their grant to implement this network. Enriching Brazil, which was previously called CEARÁ, has 12 partners in total. So we have partners in Europe, 8, as you can see on the map, and 4 partners in Brazil. So our idea for Enriching Brazil is to provide services that will be the structure and the community of European and Brazilians working together to provide innovation, entrepreneurship, and so on. The community that we have for Enriching Brazil is mainly those 4 that you can see on the slide. We have the supporters, which are composed by institutions in Europe and also in Brazil. We have the soft landing hubs. For now, we have 4 soft landing hubs in Brazil that are able to receive startups from Europe and provide this initial contact for them. We have the service providers in our community as well, meaning companies that are outside Enriching Brazil, but they provide services that the partners cannot assume, that they don't have the expertise on. And we also have individuals and organizations as beneficiaries inside the association of Enriching Brazil. Currently, we have the red headquarters in Brasilia, and we also have a branch office in São Paulo. We have a focal point in Brussels, established in April 2018, as you can see. To the left, you see the address for our association in Brasilia, which is in CNI building. And in December 2019, we established the association as a legal entity, meaning that we now have a CNPJ, and therefore we can provide services and start our association. So I will discuss briefly the services that we have in our association of Enriching Brazil. There are 6. So we provide information on how to do business in Europe, a guideline on how to find partners in Brazil, market research studies, newsfeed, and so on. We have also a pillar of providing connections, meaning we organize business roundtables, matchmaking events, workshops, delegation visits. We also provide information and assist our clients to find funds for the projects. So this is also something that we do currently. The 4th services is what we call the get going. It's what I discussed previously about the soft landing hubs, where they can receive startups from Europe in Brazil and provide workspace, infrastructure. We also implement some trainings on innovation management in Brazil and also in Europe. We are also engaged on increasing the visibility of our clients, providing some support on marketing issues, business development, and several types of consulting services. And also the last service that we have is the legal support. This is not currently implemented yet, but this is something that we want to do for the future of the association. In this slide, you can see some of the services that we have planned for this year. Currently, due to the COVID-19 outbreak in the world, we are only implementing the webinars, and this webinar that we are having today is inside this information services that we have for Reaching Brazil. So we are now discussing with the European Commission the best way to handle the other services that we have. So this will be all confirmed in our website soon as we have an established plan for the outbreak. So if you have any questions, if you want to be part of the Association of Enriching Brazil, if you want to ask for a market study in your area, please contact us. We'll be glad to answer and help you. And stay tuned to our website, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So that's it. Now I'll be passing the word to our speaker, Mr. Julio Cavalcante. Just a minute. Julio, can you hear me?
Thaís, está na tela errada. É a outra.
Julio, can you hear me now? We are having a technical issue here. If you could just
okay.
Hold on. Julio?
Okay, yes. Now I'm here and I can okay. I'm ready.
All right. So you may start your presentation, and thank you.
Can you see my presentation?
No, not yet.
Let's go. Did you share my screen? Okay.
Did you receive the notification?
Yes. Now.
Okay. Now we can see it's perfect.
Yes. Okay. Good morning or good afternoon. During these hard times, I hope that you and your family, friends are well as possible. I am Julio Cavalcante, and I have been worked in the Ceará government for the last 3 years. The first 2 years in the Planning and Management Secretary, and the last year in Economic Development Secretary. Ceará is a state in the northeast of Brazil. You can see some pictures. And now let's go know about this project. This is the strategic map of the long-term plan CEARÁ 2050, built in last 3 years. This plan has a diagnosis with weakness and strengths of the state. The weakness can be resumed into 2 points: our low wealth generation and our incapability to provide good economic opportunities to people who live here. The strengths are resumed by 2 points also. The first one is the state's fiscal balance in the last 30 years that has permitted access to international banks to make CEARÁ's investments. And the second is represented by our 4 development network, financed many times by these banks. The first development network is the hydro network, composed by channels and interconnected dams through all the state's regions. The second is the broadband network with more than 80,000 kilometers, connect more than 90% the state cities. The third network is formed by public and private education institutions, undergraduate and vocational schools in all states regions. The state of Ceará has 3 universities, and there is here 3 federal universities too. The government of Ceará has 123 vocational schools in all of the regions of the state, and there is many others private units. The last network for development is our renewable energy chain, because we have generation potential in all the regions by wind power, photovoltaic, or both. These 4 networks represent an important infrastructure to build the development and transform our weakness. Other great allied to change our economic reality is our practice of planning that has permitted an excellent alignment between all stakeholders interested with the state development. And in CEARÁ 2050, for example, the state was chosen 10 economic chains to focus and increase the development. We saw this in the strategic map before, how sustainable energy, logistics, health, health chain, and others. But after that, the government contracted an international consulting firm to make a benchmark in some regions in the world that has prioritized these economic chains and studied the impact occurred on those KPIs that the state needs to become better, like wealth growth, income distribution. This work provided 80 cluster election that CEARÁ is focusing in the next 8 years. These 8 clusters are represented in this slide. And this is the point that we part to build a regional development strategy based on innovation. The state is divided into 14 plain regions. They are represented here. The idea is to identify in each region which cluster of this has more economic potential and at the same time has more offers of formation related. We see the private sector identify which of these 8 clusters has more potential, more economic potential in that region, but we match with the offers of formation related with this cluster. When this match occurs, the government will offer scholarship to researchers in region that will be studying 3 principal problems proposed by the components of each cluster, always in a partnership with companies and researchers. The solution modeled by the researchers with the help of all the institutions that are in the region and using the startups in that region. These startups formed by the students of the region will implement solutions as a product using the cluster as a laboratory and market. These products may be used not only by the regions of CEARÁ, but must be exported for the other states and countries. Following this way, we have expected these results. strengthening regions' competitiveness by increasing the productivity of the higher potential activities, and create a new economy based on innovative ventures in the state. To have arguments to prioritize the clusters in each 14 regions, it was built a business intelligence system with economics and educational KPIs and created a ranking for each region cluster using a score resulted by a balance of these KPIs. The criteria for choosing clusters by region is exposed here. These are the KPIs, the economic KPIs, GDP participation of each cluster in that region, growth rate, average salary, active employment, and establishment number. But there are the KPIs related for the offer, the formation offers. Undergraduate course enrollment, undergraduate course number, technical course enrollment, technical course number, and postgraduate course enrollment. This is one of the regions with seats here and the prioritized clusters here. And this slide shows the ranking in the BI. How we can see the first and second clusters weren't prioritized by the state. And because of this, they aren't considered. And these three were selected. Here we see how the cluster's score is composed by the KPIs here. This number is a result of this composition representing each KPI. As effect of the first and second results we expect yet in this initiative, regions wealth growth with better income distribution, increase states wealth with better distribution among the regions, and retain and attract talent trained in the region by offering high quality opportunities. The project is divided in 4 macro steps. The first one focuses to prioritize the region's clusters and select for each cluster until 3 problems that will be supported by the government help. The second step consists to provide scholarships to 2 researchers that will model the solution to the cluster's problem selected. And the third step, 3 startups with 3 members each will implement the solution as a product, and each member will receive scholarship also. To choose until 3 problems, each cluster will present until 8 problems, and a judging commission will evaluate using 3 criteria to select until 3 problems that will be supported by government scholarships. The first criteria aligned to the objectives of the project try ensure that the problem impact is stronger the cluster productivity. The second criteria try ensure that the startup economic sustainability. The startup needs to have market not only in this region, but in the world. The third criteria try to ensure that the team is capable of solving the problems on the time and with the available resources. Each team will defend the problem, must use a PowerPoint to answer these questions, and their performance will be compared by the judging commission to choose 3 problems for each cluster. One slide for each question. Here is only example, not real yet, but can be used to communicate for the clusters how they must work to defend their problems. Here is resumed, but definition, problem definition represents the slide 1 and 2. Impact of the competitiveness of the cluster is demonstrated here, and sustainability of the innovative company. There is an example here. The scheduler of project consider 4 years. We began in 2019 and began with 4 planning regions with 16 clusters. The second cycle begins this year with 5 planning regions and 22 clusters. And in 2021, we will begin the last 5 planning regions with 15 clusters. Here, some numbers of the project. 53 economic regional sectors is incentivized by the government. 3 ventures for economic sectors incentivized with a total 159. And 580 scholarships holders incentivized. 3 scholarships per startup, 3 startups per cluster, 2 researchers in each cluster, 53 clusters. Thank you for now, and we are ready to receive some questions.
Thank you, Julio, for your presentation. It was very interesting to see a deeper look on the state of Ceará and also your work on the clusters. And for now, we haven't received any questions yet, but if the participants want to ask Julio anything about the presentation, you can write on the chat or on the questions, the drop down, and then we'll be able to read and answer to your questions. So maybe we should wait for 2 minutes to see if we have any questions. I think Paulo Pietrobon has a question. It's from Rodrigo. I'm gonna read the question to you. He said, "Hi Julio, my name is Rodrigo, a science technology PhD candidate at the University of Campinas. What type of support is the government going to give to the startups? Only scholarships or any type of financial resources to technological research?"
Okay. The government will give all scholarships, but there is an ecosystem represented in these slides. And I don't know if in this slide we have some partnerships that are working with us, and they can complement our support. For example, Embrapi with financial resource, BNB, the Development Bank of the region, BNDES, the SEBRAE, and the SEBRAE, for example, can help also in the management and some methodology. This project, in truth, is not a government project. It's a project of the state, and we had the initiative in government, but all of the institutions are involved in the beginning. Okay?
Okay,
am I
thank
clear?
you, Julio. Yeah, we could hear your answer. Thank you. We haven't received any questions, but I think Paul Pietrobon raised his hand. Do you have a question, Paul? Maybe not. So to answer just some final words on our webinar, since we haven't received any other questions, we will be providing this information of the CEARÁ Innovation Ecosystem presentation on our website of Enriching Brazil. We'll be sending you a follow-up email with that, with the website link for you to check later. And also, please send us an email if you have any questions, either for Enriching Brazil project or for Mr. Julio about the innovation ecosystem in Ceará. That's it. Thank you all for joining. I hope you are safe under this COVID-19 outbreak. And stay tuned to our next webinars. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Julio.
Thank you very much.